Sam Jackson is not happy with Rogan's apology. We haven't heard or talked about the Rogan situation in a while. I thought it was pretty much over. He did the video. People said what they said. People felt how they felt. You had the Spotify situation, which actually was before the apology for the racial stuff. But I guess Sam Jackson just recently weighed in on it, and he's not a fan. Here's the quote. He is saying nobody understood the context when he said it, but he shouldn't have said it. I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that, never mind publicly on a podcast, and I agree with that. Oh, that's from Rogan's apology, those words. And then here's Sam Jackson. It's not the context, dude. It's that he was comfortable doing it. Say that you're sorry because you want to keep your money, but you were having fun, and you say you did it because it was entertaining. So he's basically saying, don't say it was about context. You were having fun saying a word that you're not supposed to say. Mm-hmm. And that was fun for you. And he did say it a lot. Now, the other topic that got brought up in this particular interview was about how Tarantino has used it so much. But in that case, Jackson backs him up and says he's telling a story. The actor recounted while he was filming Django Unchained. DiCaprio expressed during the rehearsals he was uncomfortable using the slur as many times as was written in the script. But then Jackson and Quentin said to DiCaprio, every time someone wants an example of overuse, they said, he's just telling the story. The characters do talk like that, so they have to do it. Mm-hmm. Me and Quentin told him that he has to.
That's tough on an actor.
Being able to
in
determine,
that role,
yes,
and just based on your principles, you really don't want to do it, but you have to do it.
You're telling a story. Django Unchained is about slavery.
Yes,
it's the movie, and the movie is incredibly graphic in other ways, right? Violence, and if you try to imagine the movie or the story without going to that extent,
it wouldn't do it justice.
But it would actually almost feel less impactful or believable, or do a poorer job of telling the story of that era. Mm-hmm. So in that case, you get it. But in the case of, this is the difference, right? Fiction, storytelling, podcasting, being a comedian, these are all different venues. And they documentary, YouTube, social media, written, spoken, music, all different venues.
But the context matters.
Well, it actually does in this case, but Sam Jackson is saying in the podcast case, he wasn't feeling that from Rogan. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He was saying that because there is a thing. I remember when podcasting first started, and there would be a thing where a guy would come on and go, "Can I swear on here? Can I curse?
Oh, yeah.
Can I curse on here?" Mm-hmm. And then there's a moment of celebration of, we're not on TV. You can make any noise with your mouth that you want without any consequences. Mm-hmm. And it started with that. And I think, because I've seen it happen on YouTube too, there's been some YouTubers that have used that term. And they're like, look, you can use it. It's no big deal. You can, and I just realized that classical music is still on in the background very faintly. No, I don't mind.
Yeah, I was just thinking, our live streams, you say shit, and people freak out about that.
I don't say it that often.
You don't say it that often.
And often, but sometimes I'm reading it out of a statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be an actual quote, mm-hmm. and I would be reading it. Uh-huh. Quoting is one area, though, where I think I know the world has agreed that when we are quoting, we avoid the use of that word, or you have to obscure it in a mm-hmm. certain way, mm-hmm. out of respect.
Yeah.
Out of not trying to glorify or encourage the use of it. Mm. So you're not going to see a quote on a website that maybe in a transcript. I don't know what police departments do. Right? What about in a script? What about in Tarantino's script for the movie? Does it say that even though you're going to pronounce the whole word because you're telling the story in the script, do you obscure it?
I don't think so.
He's been writing that word. How many times has he written that word in his career?
He's writing the word a lot, but I don't know. It might be obscured in the script.
Well, how do you tell your actors, I'm not going to write it, but you have to say it? I think he wrote it.
Listen, man, it's a lot of different circumstances, but definitely Samuel L. Jackson's been around the word. He's been around the word in Hollywood a lot, and he has, in his mind, his interpretation of the rules around it. And so that's that.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from Tiberius again. Tiberius Baxter.
Oh, Tiberius Baxter, shout out. Thanks for joining us again, and thanks for the super chat.